Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph. It's the last. It's the first of the big lines in the bottom. In general, the plan is Mitzvah Shem. This Pedic is all about the halachas of Avdallah, B'nei Eish, B'nei Psamim. So we'll cover the halachas of B'nei Psamim, and in Mitzvah Shem we're going to do the Shulchan Aruch. We're going to cover all the halachas of Avdallah. After that, hopefully, we're going to do the halachas of Netilas Yadayim. Everyone thinks they know. That people that live a whole lifetime never once do it right. But it's like with all the things that people do all the time, they think that, but especially in Netilas Yadayim.
Wow.
So today's Gemara has to do with the fundamentals of Netilas Yadayim for Suda. Those are not the easiest halachas, but they're something we do all the time. It's remarkable about the halachas of Netilas Yadayim. As I said, we're just learning today a little bit the Gemara. We're going to get back to this hopefully in about 2 months. Throughout the summer, Mitzvah Shem, we'll be learning it. So, what is remarkable about Netilas Yadayim is, why do we wash before the meal? We really wash because we strengthen this thing that we believe Mashiach is coming, and we're all going to Eretz Yisrael soon, and that we're going to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash. That's the only reason. Why do we wash our hands? Because at the time of the Beis HaMikdash, there were kohanim. The kohanim were eating truma, and truma has to be eaten with a higher level of holiness. So they said, you know what? Chazal said, all Klal Yisrael eat all their meals with that level of holiness as the kohanim need to eat truma.
It's just for bread, though.
Why is it just for bread? Because truma is dagan tidish v'yitzar, which is wine, oil and grain. Wine and oil you don't touch with your hands when you eat. So the only thing is the 5 grains you touch with your hand when you eat. And therefore, the hands, a person touches things all day. We don't know what's, So Chazal put a status to hands. They called it shnias. They're the second level of tumah. So let's say, like if you do a quick thing, there is a concept of, whenever you say, this guy is a sheikh, so they say, avi avois tumah. It's like the worst. Avi avois.
The pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Get Yantav Pontav.
He thinks he's very pure.
Right, exactly.
He is Avi Avois. They call him.
They call him Avi Avois Tumah, right? So a dead body is called Avi Avois Tumah. He's not a recipient of Tumah. He gives Tumah. Then he's not alive, so he's not. Then there is Ava Tumah. There is the father of Tumah, and then there's Vlada Tumah. In Vlada Tumah, there's the transmission of Tumah can only go if a person touches a dead man and he touches his friend, and his friend, it gets diluted. It doesn't go on forever, right? In general, according to the Torah, Adam and Kalim, a man or tables, glass, dishes, they have to get Tumah only from Ava Tumah. Oichel and Mashkin, food and drink, it's easier for them to become Tomei. But again, so in Tumah you have like this, Avi Avois Tumah, the worst, and then you have the recipient of Tumah, so you have Ava Tumah, and then you have a Vlada Tumah, and the Vlada Tumah you have a Rishon, a Sheni, a Shlishi, a Revi. So these are all Gzeiras Derabanan. So the Rabbanan said that in Chulin you go level 1 and 2, but there's no such thing as level 3. And then for Truma we go also to level 3, and to Taharis we go even to level 4, right? For Kochim, Truma is level 3, and for Kochim level 4.
Level 4 would be the Vlad Tumah?
Within Vlad, B'Rishin Sheni Shlishi Revi.
So the fourth,
right. They're really called Talmud, they're called Postel, but whatever. So again, we have Avi Avois Tumah, you have a Ava Tumah, and the Vlada Tumah, and the Vlad, the family goes like this: number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4.
So how does this come to the Netilas Yadayim today?
We have the
bread,
floor, no problem.
We're all Tam and Meis, we don't have Eifa
It's
Pardes,
we only wash hands because we believe in Mashiach Tzidkenu, and Behedi Yibona Beis HaMikdash, and we're all going to come back, and therefore the Kohanim are going to be eating Truma, And in Truma, because Chazal put the status on the Yadayim to be a Sheni L'Tuma, so they said, oh, so you have a problem with your Yadayim, because the Yadayim, if they touch Truma, so that you have a problem. So they said, all Klal Yisrael have to eat Chuleim B'Tahara similar to Truma. So because Hey Momrav, they made the rules. They said that the hands have the status of a Sheni, therefore it would touch food or drink.
It's only about eating. It's not.
There's only eating,
We're
right?
not talking about in the morning.
No, I'm not talking about the morning. Only about eating, right? That's a different Tumah.
In other words, he's saying that the Takanim of Atil Sidayim, before you eat bread, was made in the time of Beis HaMikdash,
Yeah.
and it continued on, even if it's not. Is that what you said?
Right, and all the poskim say in the beginning of Simakuf for Nun Ches, that the reason we keep it today is because Mehedi Yabana Beis HaMikdash. Or the Rishonim say this.
Wow.
So it's remarkable that this mitzvah. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it till now.
There was only the Kahanim that were required.
Yeah, even then they made the Klal Yisrael before the Kohanim. But now we're all doing it because Mehedi Yabana Beis
There's
HaMikdash.
technically really nothing about washing your
Right.
hands before eating bread.
Right, nothing but because Mashiach is about to come, so we got to get in the mood. You know, we got to get in the thing. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do the Gemara today. The halacha part of it is first we're going to do Hilchas Havdalah, which will take us a nice 6 weeks, and then we're going to Mitzvah Hashem get back to this, and we're going to look into the Gemara Chulin. There's a nice 4 or 5 daf in the beginning of Kol HaBasar, and then we'll get to okay. Zog the Gemara. I say
I'm sorry.
the first line in the big lines of Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph.
Okay, got it.
Beis,
Nun Beis Amud Aleph. That in those days they would drink wine before the meal. They would drink wine after the meal. They would drink wine in the middle of the meal. Everything was a different thing. The wine before the meal was to like an appetizer. The wine after the meal was like dessert. And the wine in the meal was, just like you drink water. So, but they would drink wine. Okay. So again, Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph, the first line of the big lines. First thing you do in Netilas Yadayim, you wash your hands, dry your hands, you make the bracha, obviously on Netilas Yadayim, right? And then you pour the koises of wine, they drink the wine, then they do hamoitzi. Why? Why such a strange thing? Shima toimer, because if you're going to say reverse, that that you first pour the cups of wine, tchila, and that will come first, and that's indeed what Beis Hillel will say. So that won't be good. Why? Zayda, there's a Zayda here. I'm scared. Shema yitmu amashkin shachorei hakois. Machmas yodov, because when you pour wine in a cup, a little bit pours onto the sides. Then his hands, again, if it's before Netilas Yadayim, his hands are tummy, they're sheni l'tuma. It's going to touch the liquid. The liquid will become tummy, and the liquid will make the kois tummy. So that's a problem. V'yachzid v'yatamas hakois. So the Gemara right away interjects. What do you mean? His hands will touch the liquid, and the liquid will touch the kois. I mean, you can say directly, l'tami yadayim l'kois. His hands are tummy because his hands has the status of a sheni l'tuma. Because Tam Yadayim Chazcham decided, because we don't know what the person's touching, is a Sheni L'Tuma, as we said in the introduction. So his hands itself was a problem before he washes his hands. Tam Yadayim L'Kois. So the Gemara explains. The answer is like this. Yadayim Shni is saying, the hands has a status of Shni L'Tuma. Not a Rishon, they're a Sheni. The Ein Sheni Yoysa Shlishi B'Chulin. The Sheni can never, as we said before, when it comes to Chulin, a Sheni cannot bring the Rishon could make the Sheni tummy, but the Sheni, when it touches the Shlishi, cannot make him tummy. Oh, but there's one exception. Elo Yedei Mashkin. But through liquid, it could happen. The Chazal were more machmer when it comes to liquids. Further, Rashi explains why, because there's certain liquids that they themselves are tummy. They're not coming, usually tumah gets transferred from the dead body to the first, which is the Av, and the Vad, because the Vlad, and it goes, the number 1 touches man number 2, man number 2 touches man number 3, man number 3 touches man number 4. But the liquids, it could be that the liquid itself is a tummy, therefore they made. So that's the pshat in Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel say no. Moiz Guinness Akois. First you pour the kois and drink the wine before the meal. And then you do netilas yadayim and then you have the meal. Shima, why? She'im ata oimer. If you're going to tell me that first you're going to do netilas yadayim, I'm scared about that. Why? Shema yitmu mashkim shebiyadayim mach masakois. That his hands, we're scared that his hands are not going to be dried well. Tosfos says that even though usually we're not scared that his hands are going to be wet, because he dries his hand, because he knows that a person, you know the din, if you don't dry your hands well and you eat bread, it's like lechem tomei. So the minig is that people dry their hands well. But if it would have been that after washing we don't eat bread, but first we have the wine, people wouldn't be particular, they wouldn't dry their hands. So there would be a little bit of liquid on their hands. And now it's exeid Hashem yitu mashkim sheyadayim machmas hakois. The kois is tummy, and the kois is going to make the water on the hands tummy. As we said before, mashkin gets easily tumidik, and then the hands are going to become tummy. V'yachzav v'tamis yadayim, and now he's eating with tummy hands.
It's all for Shabbat?
No, this is every day, every meal. Frag the Gemara in a tummy kois liyadayim. You're telling me that his hands have liquid in it. And now the kois is tamei, and the kois will make the liquid, and the liquid will make the hands. And tamei kois liyadayim. So the one answers the same thing as before. Ain't kli metam odom. The kli can't be metam with a person. So therefore, the kli can be metam easily the mashkin. The mashkin is metam of the hands. If the kli is tamei, so then what do you mean? The whole drink is tamei inside. So the Gemara answers, it's a keli which it didn't really touch a tumah. It's a liquid that became tamei, and it touched it from the outside. The toichi tor v'gabei tamei, because it's exeida derabanan. So the Chacham said that that's the way it's going to be. Mashkin that touches a kois from the outside, only the outside is tamei, and the inside stays tor. Not as we learned in the Mishnah. Kli shenitma achayda v'mashkin, a keli which the outside of it. It became tamei through mashkin. Achoyd of tmeim, the outside is tamei, but toichoy, the inside, ognai, the lip of the keli, oznai, the ears of the keli, yodov, the hands of the keli, which is the handles, and the ears of the keli is also a different type of handles, but they're all part of the keli on the outside. So those things are tohard nitmai toichoy. But if the inside of the keli became tamei nitma kulei, the entire keli becomes tamei. So Gemara explains. What's the machlokes between Bisham and Beisilo? Bishamai Savri Bishamai holds also lishtamish bekli shenitmu achayda b'mashkin. It's also to use a keli, and any keli which the outside of it became tamei, you're not allowed to use it by a meal. Why? Because we're scared. If you're going to, even though the inside is tahor, and you're using and you're drinking only from the inside of the keli, but I'm scared that some sparks are going to jump out of the keli and touch the outside of the keli, and then you're going to touch those netzutzes and your hands have become tamei.
What's in tzutzes?
Sparks, some little bit of drinks. Because Basil Savri, they hold the opposite. They say you're allowed to use a keli that the outside of it became tamei with mashkin. They're not scared about the netzutzes. Then the opposite. They're choishes shema yitmu mashkim shebidayim machmak kois, as we said before. Since basically the machlokes of Bisham and Beisilo is totally on a previous machlokes of Bisham and Beisilo. Beis Shammai holds that whenever you use a kois, the kois must be tohered from the inside and from the outside. So therefore, there's always going to be a toher keli. We're always going to deal with a toher keli. Mashenke Beisilo says you're allowed to have a keli which is tamei on the outside. So therefore, Beisilo says, well, if he's going to wash his hands and he's not going to dry them well, as if he already washed his hands, since now there's liquid in the hand. So when there's liquid between his hand and the kois is going to make his hand tamei. And therefore, better drink before you wash and before you have the suda. Dover acher, another thing Beisil said to Beishamai, tekef lanadilas yadayim suda. So Gemara that the din is that this is the rule that Chazal established. That remember we learned it in Ketz and Avorchim. There's three things that are takef. three things that you're supposed to do. Take if connect, and one of them is take if shchita smicha, and the other one is take if until it's time sudi. You're supposed to do right away after you do until it's time. You're supposed to do sudi. You're not supposed to make a hefsek in between. So same thing over here. Sholosh tkifus saying the Gemara said, and take if l'smicha shchita, take if gula tefillah, take if until zayim bracha. So therefore, that's the rule of the Suda. So the Gemara says, "My davar acher, hoch kamar lo b'shamay." This is what b'sel tzad b'shamay. Liditchu damris also l'shtamish b'klish achayr of tmein. You hold that it's also to use a keli, which the outside is tummy. So my chashash is not a chashash. So my tain is not a tain. The gezinim mishum tzutzas. I feel a hochi. However, I'm still right. Even if we had already machlokas, if you're allowed to use a keli, which the outside is tummy or not. But he's saying, anyways, the halacha should be like me, says Beit Hillel. It's better to do my way, to take it from Tilas Yadayim Suda, because the Suda should be take it from Tilas Yadayim. I just an interesting thing, which is, has a shaykhs not to this line of the Gemara, but a shaykhs of the Gemara that we learned last week. And angefallen today, just a pshat, which is, I guess, it's a Purim Torah, but it's not a Purim Torah. It's a Torah for Purim. So the Alter Rebbe has in the Maimer about Purim. So he says, the Gemara says, Mordechai men Torah menayim. How do we know Mordechai? It's like a funny question, like Mordechai men Torah menayim. The Gemara says, because it says, Atl kach lechosamim roish mored droir. And the Targum says Moradachya. Moradachya is Mordechai. It's like Chas v'Shalom. This is a Gemara. It's not a Purim Torah. This is Torah Shabbat Peh. This is a Gemara. Megillah.
Esther, that one.
Right.
No, this one I don't remember.
Right.
Nochi Hasta.
But Mordechai min Torah benayim is Atlcha Kachlecha Samem Moed, and the Moed is Moradachya. Okay. So the Alter Rebbe says, what's the pshat? What's the pshat? So he says, Moir zeh l'das ha'Rambam, u'shor meforeshim, hu musk. That's the reach that comes from a thing called musk. So this musk is, what is this musk? It comes from Adam Chaya Yedua, which the dam is congeals in the glands. And we spoke about this once. We spoke about this, of which Chaya it is, orangutan or not. A few years ago we a little bit dabbled in this, and I don't want to repeat what we already learned, but just when I learned it, I was left with like a tzorich iyun. The Alter Rebbe has an interesting pshat here. The Alter Rebbe says Azoy, that the Gemara says this, and then there's a machloikis. It's a remarkable namaim. I've never seen a maim similar to this. The Alter Rebbe says that he quotes a whole Gemara, and then he quotes a machloikis Rishonim, and then he says, what's the machlokusa mapich sidus? Like, what's the pshat apich sidus? It's like, I've never seen a maim like such a language. There's a machloikis Rabbeinu Yoina and the Rosh. Rabbeinu Yoina said that this blood that dries up in the gland of the chaya, which is called Yedua, so they use it as a spice. This is considered the choshevste and purest fragrance, perfume. Today they use synthetic stuff, but Amol, they used to use real musk, and musk was considered like the best thing. But some people used to put musk into the food. They used to put a bissel, a teaspoon and a half of musk in the brisket.
Yum.
And
it's not kosher.
So Rabbeinu Yoina said it is kosher. Why? Rabbeinu Yoina said no, because it became Pirsha B'Alma. Pirsha B'Alma, just like we say Behema Ksheira Sheyonkim and Atreifa. So the milk and that is kosher. Why? Because what do I care? It came from a treif of cow, but now it became Pirsha B'Alma. Now it became a new Metzias. And this new thing, it came from treif. I don't care it came to treif. But now it's kosher. That's what Rabbeinu Yoina says.
But that's milk in a kosher cow. This is blood in the tummy of the animal.
Right. So that's what
It's worse,
right. So the Rosh said, who told you? Who told you, Rabbeinu Yoina, that do you have a little birdie that tells you that this dam that we all know was first dam, and it's in a treifa behema, toma behema, whatever it's not a kosher animal, and now you're telling me that's called Pir Shabalma. How do you know it's Pir Shabalma? How do you know? It's like a lot of the Pesach people tell me, it's not Roy Lachil Kelov. So I say, do you have a dog? Try to feed it to your dog. I don't know. It's like the tiny saying to the Rabbeinu Yoina. You know. How do you know it's Pir Shabbat? You send it to laboratory, somewhere, top laboratory, Pir Shabbat, does it go into... How do you know?
It's about Ruach
You know that a bee is not kosher, but whatever comes out from that, it's kosher.
No, because the Gemara says, because it's not the migufa. It takes the things from the prochim, from the flowers, the pollen from the flowers. It's not coming. It's just taking the thing from the flowers and spitting it out.
Why would anyone need the blood of an orangutan for musk in the first place? That's the real question.
Oh, I don't know.
What is this question?
And why would people want to put like a tablespoon and a half of blood from an orangutan?
Well, if it smells good, maybe they think it tastes good.
So
I don't know. Apparently, it's not in the. It's not in the recipe.
It's like cilantro.
Maybe it had medicinal.
Or maybe medicinal qualities. But like Amol geweest, they had it was popular. The Englishmen they used to have turtle soup.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Very good.
So. Yeah. So. Yeah. It still is popular.
Imagine.
So,
eat frogs like it's delicious.
What, the English?
Everybody.
I would need to be in that land.
So listen, me and you might not understand how geschmack it is to put a spoon and a half of musk in the brisket. But Avaisto is someone asked the Shaila, Rabbeinu Yoina said, Mutter Gomor, and Rabbi Rosh said, I'm not sure, but I'm not convinced.
They used to use it in Beis Hamikdash more?
Yeah, but they used it only to, they didn't eat it. They used it in the Samamone Aktoidus, it was one of Yudal Samamone
If it
Aktoidus.
wasn't kosher, we wouldn't use it in Beis Hamikdash.
No, fakert. That's the whole thing. Why we use things that are tomei and ktoidus and apichsidus is like a big.
Meant to go into your body. It's meant for a different.
It's meant for a different purpose, right? It's meant to smell.
The question
So-
in time Bet Hamikdash, this musk be kosher automatically.
No, it was only kosher to smell. It was only kosher to smell. So the Alter Rebbe says that what's the machloikis al pichsidus? So he says because the shaila is by tshuva. Does doinus become shgogis or zechuyis? What happens when he does tshuva?
The fun of the tshuva.
Right, that's right. Depends how deep the tshuva is. So the Alter Rebbe says that there is sometimes he does tshuva in a way of his hapche chashoichel and nahoide instead of blood, which is a koch in Olam Hazeh. Now his blood, his whole koch is in kedusha. The same koch, the whole koch blood is like, the excitement, the whole excitement he had in worldly stuff. Now it's in holiness. So this hapche chashoichel nahoide. Now the blood, instead of being Tomei, it's tor. Instead of being osir, it's mutar b'achila. That's Rabbeinu Yoina. But the Rosh says no. That the story of Mordechai and Torah, the avodas Hashem of Mordechai is not so high. It's not the union of his hapcha. It's a skafia. It's a skafia. So therefore, you're not allowed to eat it because only a tzaddik really changes his character so much that his koch in Olam Hazeh, his blood in Olam Hazeh, now is in kedusha. He has no geschmack in Olam Hazeh. His whole geschmack is in kedusha. But if your avodas Hashem is avodah of regular of a benoni, it's not that way. Your main thing. Obviously, we're all trying to do a little bit of hapcha, but your main thing is skafia. So skafia. So this is the words of the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe says. So l'chein zeshia boisam alos muter afilu b'achila. Who kemoshe b'tshuva ma'avas doinus nasa kezachuyis sha'aran nepach legamri li's toiv mamish, and that's about tshuva. The makom shein tzadikim v'morichel ava b'tshuva shaloi ma'ava rabba loinus hapcho legamri v'zeu she'amoir afa pisharechet toiv mekol makom loichos aliyas muter b'achila. It didn't become muter b'achila, but it did become a little bit muter. So that's what Alter Rebbe says. That dam hu nefesh achiyunus nefesh mesavek shmesapach tavois habahamius mit tanuger lamazel lies kol chefze vetanuger b'Hashem zo inya shenasam and boisem now becomes geschmack of boisem. But how much did you mahapich this dam? Were you mahapich it enough that that now it's only mutter to smell, or you mahapich it so much now it's even mutter to eat? So I was thinking that this mime we learned Purim 3-4 years ago, and it was always lingering in my mind like a little bit of a tzarechiyun. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean this blood? According to the Ben Yonah, there was a transformation. The blood was asur, now it's mutter b'achila. But according to the Rosh, you're saying there was not a total transformation, but fart, it became mutter to smell. Nothing became mutter. It was always mutter to smell. Whatever was mutter to smell was always mutter. And whatever was also to eat was always also. Like, what changed? Nothing changed. Like, you're telling me, Apich Siddur, that according to, that there's two Avodas Hashem. There's Avodas Hashem, the way of Mordechai, which Rabbeinu Yoina understood, which is his hapcha. He took the Koch of Olam Hazeh and made this Kedusha itself. And then there's, according to the Rosh, no, he was mahapich to be a boisim, it smells good, but it's still also b'achila. You won't mahapich anything. I mean, al pidin, nothing changed in this blood. It was always also b'achila, and it was always muter bereach. What did you do? It's like...
Don't we say that, let's say you have a smell from Avodah Zarah. You're not allowed to smell.
Also the smell, yeah.
You can't take it now and say to Kedusha.
But musk is not Avodah Zarah. Musk is achayet meya.
It's a chayet meya.
Good. So eating, it was asur, and it's still asur. Smelling, it was mutter, and it's still mutter. So what was he mahapach here? That's what I'm asking. Like, what was he? He didn't do anything. I live with Rabbi Yochanan, I understand. Something changed. It was asur to eat, now it's mutter to eat. But alibe, if you're telling me, nothing changed. So ma'an gefallen apshat. The Mishnah Berurah says, in the beginning of our sugya, Mishnah Berurah says an interesting thing. We know the story of Elisha ben Avuya, right? His mother smelled stuff. It was so like, she had to eat the treifa. They gave her to eat the treifa. What happened? Bingo, Elisha ben Avuya. What did she do wrong? She did nothing wrong. She ate treif, under strict rabbinic supervision. Ravid Gehasen, that she should do it, right? But that's what happens, that there is a bad teva that's born into her son. It's mutter, but it's a bad thing. So says the Mishnah Berurah Chidush Din, which is very logical. He says a nazir is not allowed to come close to a bottle of wine, right? We say schor, get away from here. Don't come close to the wine shop, right? So, is it permissible for a Jew to go smell? Someone said their story last week about Akamtson, that his wife walks by a restaurant and
those guys.
So what happens if it's a treifa restaurant and he says, I'll treat you out again, walk around the block, we'll smell it again.
You're not allowed to smell it.
Oh, so are you allowed to smell it or not? The Mishnah Berurah says depends. It depends, and this is his svana. There's a chidush from the Mishnah Berurah, but I think it's very straightforward. He says like this: things today for foods. I mean, you walk in the street and this pizza shop. What's this guy? This machine. Yeah. If you go smell, it smells good. What can you do? You smell. But the shaila is, am I allowed to go with l'shem yichud to go smell? The papa. No, not to make a bracha. Stam, I'm allowed to go out. I'm like you said. Someone said this joke about this guy takes out his wife to smell, right? And he takes his son to look at the ice cream shop, right? So the shaila is, are you allowed to go smell treif? So the Mishnah Berurah says it's also. It's mistab, it's also. That's because what happens if you're going to smell it, you're going to become so crazy that you're going to become sakonas nefashis.
Good.
Yeah, and then you're going to crave it, and then you're going to need to eat it. And then Chas V'Shalom, look what happened to Elisha ben Avuya. It's not a good ending. The story was not a very happy ending. So stay away from the Pharaoh's pizza. Okay.
Well, wait a minute. That only applies to Nekeva who's pregnant. The man is not going to be in the
No, but if there's
kiyua...
No. But the Gemara says in Suvis, and Nafsamach brings that it also applies to a man.
Really?
Something which is kiyua ma'aridis and nefesh. Yeah. So.
What are you supposed to do? Breathe in from your mouth?
Just don't go there with the intention of,
You're passing by, okay.
Okay, pass by, right. Not to go dafka. But he says,
it's mamoshes. The actual reich has mamoshes.
right. So you could say that it has a
You can
mushroom,
enjoy
right?
from here. Ah, so
Yeah,
right.
because there's real mamoshes.
Right.
This is can
Right.
get you into
Yeah,
more incense.
it's got
to buy.
real
Right.
stuff to it.
There is real stuff. Even though you must say like this, Lagabe bossa v'cholov, there's a sug in the Gemara, machloikas mepasken reicha ein by mamash. Therefore, if an oven that's large enough and has ventilation, so then even though there is milk and meat in the same, and we know reicha does. I mean, it's not a. The fact is that things are going around, but if the oven is big enough and there's ventilation, it's mutter. But that's lagabe, basa b'cholav, lagabe achila. But the Mishnah Berurah says that you're not allowed to go smell treifena foods. But the eyes, you're allowed to smell the ketoides, right? But he says that it's different because that's not made to eat. No, he says it's mashma over here. The Gemara says that what's the not because ketoides, not because
What's wrong with the
mikdash.
ketoides?
He's saying the Gemara says that musk is boidim in psamim, but musk is also to eat. So what do you mean? How does the Gemara telling you what bracha to make if you're not allowed to smell it? The Gemara tells you when you smell musk, make boidim in psamim.
Right.
But why is the Gemara not mentioning? Hey, by the way, it's also to smell musk.
What's that chashash?
No, it's mutter. He's saying why is it mutter? Because no one eats it. So what are you gonna? It's delicious. What are you gonna do? You gonna take a spoon and eat it? You're not gonna take a spoon and eat it. You're not gonna eat it because it's not edible. So therefore, that musk you're allowed to smell because what? So you're gonna say, it smells so good. You're not gonna take a spoon and eat it. Something with a good smell and a chmechoshet that you're gonna smell it and I must have one spoon of it. Then don't go smell it till chatchila. That's the chidush of the Mishnah Berurah in the first biur halacha in Siman Reish Tezayin Orechaim. This Siman Al Rebbe is quoting.
It has nothing to do with the fact that it has mamoshes and it's retantum.
Yeah, he's saying no. He's saying just because if you're going to get,
you should eat it.
yeah, if you're going to smell it, and I'm scared that you're going to get a big taiva to eat it, also to smell it. But if you're going to smell it and you're never going to eat it because it's not edible, then it's mutter to go smell it. And that's why musk, no one can eat it. So I was thinking the very good. So if you go to Thailand, I'm just giving you silly, they serve in the restaurants monkey brains and chvezvos, and they serve snake and all delicacies.
Dog.
And they give Vorspeise. They give you a big kois full of full of blood. No, they give you full of blood. Blood. And I hear that everyone in town is flocking to this restaurant to drink this blood. Am I allowed to go over to smell the blood? No, it's awesome. But what happens after the blood congeals and it turns into musk? Yemult, it's not something that people eat. They might put in a little bit.
Why is it only kishmak when it's liquid? When it turns into jello, it's like pcha.
No, but apparently it's not pcha because there couldn't be. The Rabbi Yochanan says it becomes pir shebi alma. The Rosh argues. He says, "Who told you?" Machlokes couldn't be like from here to Texas. Probably it's like the Metziah says that it becomes not edible as dam. Rabbi Yochanan says, it became pir shebi alma. And the Rosh says, I'm not convinced it's pir shebi alma. But so that's what happens to the blood of this chaya. The first, it was edible. So when it was edible, it was also to smell it. Now that it congealed, so it's mutter to smell it. So now we understand what the Alter Rebbe is saying. The Alter Rebbe is saying that what happens is that according to, and once it congeals, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you're allowed to eat it even. Again, no one eats it really, but apparently they put it in, a spoon and a half in the brisket. They put it as a spice. But according to the Rosh, it wasn't, transformed so much. But it was just transformed enough that now it's mutter to smell it. So that's the difference. Avodas Hashem of Iskafia is hapche. The Rabbeinu Yochanan is talking about Avodas Hashem is hapche. He changed his blood, his koch, his whole passion, his whole koch is only in one thing, only in kedusha. So that it's like his. Yeah. No. The Rabbi said we have here an incredible gentleman. This is the shliach in the city of the Chassam Sofer.
Yes, we're going to Europe.
Yeah, very good. It's all Vince.
Regarding washing your hands when you have a wet paver, there's also a big problem. Are you supposed to dry your hands first? I mean, you wash your hands without a brushing, you dry it, and then you can touch the wet paver, or your hand's supposed to be wet when you touch it.
We're gonna get there. Mission Bob.
Patient.
Where did you get up to? Shammai to 2 dots?
2 dots, yeah.
Is Shammai Mapu?
We're up to 2 dots. V'shamayim and Mekanech, yeah.
Mekanech is to wash, no?
Mekanech is to wipe.
What?
To wipe.
Right, to wipe clean. By the way, what's the reason why Rabban let Elisha Rabbu's mother eat treifus?
Of course, it was permissible. Her life was in danger.
I mean,
They understood those days that if a woman is pregnant, she has a craving. That it's like she's not going to fulfill her craving, she's going to die. Yeah, she'll be in big danger. I don't know if we know today. Said it was.
She had a hat there.
She had a hat there.
Because of the craving?
Yeah, because the craving, yeah.
Today you hear of it, but that...
but they never hear it.
Then they have ice cream with pickles.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You hear it.
Yeah, okay.
But not that you can die from it.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
That far you don't go.
Yeah, if she doesn't get her pickles or ice cream, that she'll die. No. It's Kabbalah and the Chazal in the Kabbalah, but that's the way it is, yeah.
So we use a single Kabbalah too.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, at least we're going to use it.
Oh, he was a Chacham. He wasn't Tam. He wasn't.
That's not the Elisha. No, it's not the same Elisha from.
No, that's a. That was a different Elisha. That was a Novi. That was Pnishnayim Beruchish of Elionah. That was the Rabbi of the Meir. That's many years later.
So it's not murder.
Yeah. Elisha, right.
He's not murdered himself.
He was a Tana.
Because the
Meir was a Tana. No, the Meir was a Tana. The Meir was a later generation of Tana. He was still a Tana.
All right,
What's that? Oh, good.
What Sasson asked around the beginning, is it about Shabbos and the Bachman? So he said, of course it's not. But you think the Yakis have that thing that they make, what do? They wash, and then they make Kiddush.
Oh, the Gabish Kiddush. There's some people that...
How'd you find out about this place?
I don't know, it might have to do with the school. Who knows?
Nice. What's his name?
They don't do it anymore because their kids went to the Litvish yeshivas. They gave up the minig, but they I never studied it. I understand
that they had the minig.
They wash
before
and then they
Kiddush.
Kiddush or they make the white stuff for us. And then
we wind up starting before him.
הייתי צריך לשמוע את הסיפור. אני באתי לזה, אני הייתי בעסקים האלה. אחרי זה, באתי לכמה מגיעים, תשאר אחרי זה מדבר קצת. היו הרבה אנשים.
Rabbi, Sunday night you say the shit.
Sunday night I do it. So is there this now? Did a remarkable Rashi. This the first Rashi.
You care if I make a mitzvah? Yeah. יש מישהו. יש פה מישהו שמתפלל.
יש מישהו? כן? אוקיי.
Help us stop.
גדל ויסקדש מירבו. ותרוסיה, ביטמה כוסה ועצמו קנה קרם ושיחי. מקום וחי תיכול בית ישראל בעגול זמקורי ואמרה ברך וישתבח ויספרס רמון ויסנסה. יסתדר ויסתלב סקולש מדיקוצ'ה בריאו. כוסר קרוסן כימוסה דאמירם ואולמו ואמרה אורחה צדנן ברוך אתה אדוני מלך העולם. ברוך אתה אדוני שמע ישראל.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
אדוני לכם אמס. קיבלו עליכם משה בני ישראל לקרון השרסים הרב ואימרו קולום.
מי כמוך כמוך קודש.
Я сказал Мену, Барух אתה אדוני גואל ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני שומר ישראל לעד. גדל ויסקדש מירב. מג'ירות חירוסי עמית מחוסי ועצמו וקנה קרם ושיחי. מקום בחייתי כל בית ישראל בעגול זמן קורי ואמרה ברך וישתבח ויספרס רמון ויסנסה יסחדור ויסלב וסחול שמי קודשא בריאו כל בכוסה ורוסר בכוסה נחימוסה דאמירם באולמה ואמרה גדל ויסקדש מרבה. דברו חירוסי עמליך מחוסה בעצמה בוקנה קרים ושיקם. מיכום יהיה מיכום בחי כל בית ישראל בעבור זמן קורי ואמרה אללה יתברך וישתבח ויספר ישרמום ויסנסי. Kador vysale vislošme i kuća brigu. Birkosa drogos nekimosa da miran bolmo v ime Amen. Kabe stosam vas fondi kol besrel koda on fondi bishmai v ime Amen. Shamraba bishmai v khaim to imanen kol Israel v ime Amen. Ase shalom v ime Ramal kuya sejnon kol Israel v ime Amen.
So who knows the Shemaya?
כן יקבל אחד. דרכנו מוחלם ונמח היד למלך כל ביום הכו יד חודש מאחד נעל ויסקדש מרבה ועומד דברו חירוסי ימים מחוסה ועצמה וקנה קרא משקי ויקום ימיקום וחי יקום בית ישראל בעגוז מנקורי ואמרה Vrek vištabak, vispar, visramon, visnasej, viskador, visalel, viskaloš, medikuća, brigu, virkosa, viširosa, virkosa,